Instead of sharing how a team leader is having success in creating appointments, today we're going to talk about technical recruiting. And I'm going to share with you a really cool playbook that was created for us. And here it is right here. It's called the Database Assessment. It's a playbook that we'll put in the chat for you to download. And yet what I want to explain is this is a guide that you can use to explain and take an agent through the MREA lead generation model. And I have to tell you that this is my go-to recruiting conversation with everyone I have ever recruited. And I have had over 2,000 agents join the company. So I have used this a lot in my career. And yet this is the first time they've ever put it together in a little workbook that you can use not only to talk to your own agents and get them engaged with the 36 touch and their database, getting them the leads that they desire, and helping them become Keller Williams, become part of our model and take advantage of our advantages. But bringing command into the conversation helps you automate this for your agents. So if you teach me this, I will follow you. You are a leader that I will follow because you're teaching me business and how to create a predictable real estate business and how to get more referrals out of my database. So I'm going to love you for sharing this with me. And once you show me how to plug into command and automate this so that I'm getting closer to like a 4, 5, or 6% return out of my database, I'll never leave you. And that's really the model that I want to teach you guys today, because once you've mastered the economic model where you've explained the benefit of going to 100% commission, once you've learned how to explain how to get to 100%, and once you get to 100%, how we benefit the agent to keep more of their money, once you've mastered that, that's it. That's the only thing you have in your recruiting chest. And yet this is the next conversation to add in. Okay. So before we dive into that, I just want to see if anyone has any questions or if anyone's currently using kind of this conversation in recruiting. So anyone want to share, or anyone using this currently? Nope. Okay, well, it's a great opportunity. Like I said, this is a go-to conversation that I've had year over year with new agents, experienced agents, mega agents, independents, and this is us teaching them the business of the business. So if we dive into this just a little, I'm just going to turn the pages on this. We'll put this workbook in the chat if it isn't already. If it already is, look at that. Thank you, Leslie. And yet let's look at this workbook. If you look at it, what I want you to know is this whole workbook has a total of 4 sections. The first section is really doing the math of their current business. And all they need to know is how many contacts they have in their phone, in Facebook, Christmas card and holiday lists and birthday card lists and past client lists and church roster and neighborhood list, all those lists they have. You want them to put that together and get an idea of how many people that is. And the only other number they really need to know is how many transactions they had last year. So this is not complex math, but that is one segment of it where we're going to identify how much opportunity do they have in their business, okay? And then we're going to talk about how they're spending their money and how they're getting leads. Now, some agents don't spend any money, so this is a quick section to go through, and some agents spend quite a bit of money, so you have to break down what they're spending money on. Next, we talk about getting an increased return on their database. How do they improve their conversion? and we'll dive into that. And last of all, inspect what you expect. Check in every now and then and make sure that this database is working for you. So today, I'm not going to go through all 4 of these. I'm simply going to go to do the math. Now, is there anybody that wants to be my agent role play partner? Anyone? I didn't ask anyone in advance. Oh, yes. Thank you. We have a volunteer. So I'm bringing you in. Please introduce yourself and what country you're from.
Hello, my name is Ilana Preda from Romania.
Thank you for being my volunteer. We're going to try to spotlight both of us at once. Hopefully I did this correctly. I don't think I did. Give me 1 second. Okay, we're both on. Okay, so you're my agent. Now, here's the beauty of this. I want you guys to print this out and practice this conversation on your own agents. Agents you already know and are friendly with, because you realize this is a fun conversation to have, but you're having a business conversation with your agent, teaching them how to create a predictable business. Okay. So this is not a hard conversation to have. This isn't about objection handling. This is about helping. So if you do this with your own agents a few times, you'll realize you'll get a flow in this conversation and you'll realize you're really, really helping your people. Okay. So again, practice on a few of your own people and then pivot into using this as a recruiting conversation. Sound good? Okay. So you're my agents. Let's just say you did like 10 transactions last year. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild, nothing too much, but like 5 or 10, whatever you want. So tell us your background. You're going to be an agent that's closed. How many closings? Let's just decide.
So I'm already in your team, KW team.
Well, no, let's make you a recruit. Let's make you a
Okay.
recruit. I just want you to know you can use this conversation internal and external, but let's use you as a recruit. So,
okay.
Tell me a little bit about your scenario.
So I've been in business for 10 years. I feel like I've reached a plateau where I'm not getting as many referrals as I used to. Busy life, kids, schools, activities, and I want to bring my business to the next level.
Can anyone relate to this scenario? Can you think of someone that might be in this world? Yes, this is common for your own agents too, right? So this is great. So you did 10, you said 10 transactions?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to use this playbook. I'm going to also have my MREA book so I can reference. And if I'm in front of a computer, I'm also going to bring up a couple articles because she doesn't know about MREA probably. She doesn't know about the 36 touch. She doesn't know about a 6% return out of her database. And so in order for someone to believe you, you've got to give them and reference material and share articles, all of that. So I'm going to, while we're having this dialogue, bring up this, and I'm going to show an article, the book, and as we're going, we'll add that to the chat so you guys can also follow along. Sound good? Good. Okay, great. So thank you for making time for me today. Your time is very valuable. And in this short 30-minute coffee that we're having together, I want to show you how to get more leads out of your database in the year ahead. And I know you love your broker and you're very happy at your company. And yet today, I hope to earn your plan B spot, your second choice, if ever you're not happy, because I want to show you how we help our agents develop and grow their business. It's something very different about Keller Williams than all other brokerages, because as a team leader, I'm a business coach. So today I'm going to give you a complimentary coaching session, and we'll just share ideas, and I'm going to share with you how I would help you if you were my own agent. Does that sound fair?
It sounds great. Thank you for your time.
Yes, and your time is very valuable. So I want to just dive in for a minute. And before we talk about anything, I want to talk about a model. a model that we've learned at Keller Williams called the lead generation model. Now, for about 20 years, our leader, Gary Keller, interviewed the very best agents all around the world that were making $1 million or more in their business and tried to learn, like, what are they doing to be so successful? And what he learned in all those hundreds of conversations is that there were 4 models that were consistent between those agents. Today's model that I want to teach you is the second. It's the lead generation model. And this is a visual aid of kind of how you treat relationships in real estate in order to get a 6% return out of your database. So it's kind of a crazy visual aid to share with you. And yet I'm going to give you this book. And on page 133, that's when that model starts. If we actually go to page 133 for just a minute, I want to share with you the concept. And it's really awesome. This is actually a concept we teach brand new agents the first class they meet with us because it's so important. It's your foundation so that your business becomes predictable in the future. Okay. So if we go to page 133, it kind of starts about the concept of lead generation and how it's done. But the model is identified on page 146 and 147. And basically, when we meet someone for the first time, they're strangers to us. We don't have relationship, right? We're just new acquaintances, right? And yet, when you first meet someone, you want to do what's called the 8x8 to get that relationship going so it's strong. So that might be a handwritten note. That might be making someone a Facebook friend. That might be following up with a thank you call or an invitation a couple of weeks later. It can be many different things. But what it does is it just kind of formulates that friendship. And then the 33 touch, which is now a 36 touch, with technology and things, that's how we keep that conversation going. So this model was taught to us at Keller Williams back in the early 2000s when Gary wrote this book. Does that make sense for you?
Yep, sounds good.
Well, and this is new stuff. So I want to just share an article that you may want to read later. And I'm going to put it in the chat. But I'm also going to screen share it for you right now. And this article goes into kind of the science behind the formula. And what's neat about it is you can actually put together the equation of your business and develop kind of a predictable business, which is really desirable with real estate because most of us worry a little about how we're going to make money, and it's, a business that we're running. So basically off of our database, we have an opportunity for a 6.37% return or a 6% return if we run this model. Now, what that means for you is for every 100 or so people that you have 6 opportunities a year, every year. Forever.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But how come you're sharing this information with your competition?
Well, ultimately, I would always love to be helpful to you. I help everyone. But this is something that I feel you need to know and you deserve to know. So it doesn't hurt me to help you, does it?
No, not at all. And I appreciate it.
Well, and this is an important thing to know. And again, like I said, we teach this to real estate agents right out of real estate school because we want them to have a better chance of having a thriving business and succeeding. So if we use this model and we go back to you, and if I was to look at your Facebook, your social media, your phone, and look at all the different places you have people's phone numbers and contact information, and if I thought about all the friends you have that you'd send birthday cards and holiday cards, and we think of all the people that you've done business with, and maybe the people you used to work with in your past career and your family, how many people do you think you know?
If I combine all these sources that you're mentioning, maybe somewhere around 5 6,000 people.
What? 5,000 people?
Yeah.
Wow. So if we divide your transactions, which was 10, this is the formula right here. We're using the worksheet here. 10
Yes.
transactions, let's just call it 1,000. Okay.
Okay.
That means you have less than a 0.001% return on your database. So you have opportunity big time.
I see that. I'm leaving money on the table.
Yeah, let's just say 1,000 people at 6%. I mean, you should be having at least 60 transactions or at least 60 opportunities every year, just even at 1,000.
It looks like I'm not working hard enough.
Well, let me ask you this. Is this something you'd like to understand better so you could capitalize on it and take advantage of this?
Yeah, I would love that.
So let's do the math. Let's just call it a 1% return.
Okay.
You know, if we did the math and we looked at how much money you're leaving at the table, just had a 4% return. Let's call it 1,000 because 3,500 is too many. I can't even believe that. Times a 4% return.
No, wait, not 35,000, 5,000.
3,500 still, that's still so many.
Okay.
I mean, realistically, even if you had 500, you have more than triple of what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
So does it concern you that this is something you haven't been taught before?
Yes, I'm very concerned.
How many years have you been in the business?
15.
How many years have you been leaving over $250,000 on the table?
It looks like all 15 of them.
You're not alone though. I just want to let you know this is common. This is actually a great actual test case of a team that we have within our own company that was leaving $208,000 every year over year. Yours is probably similar numbers. And what I want to tell you is the truth is we know this model exists and we've had this model in our hands for many, many years. And until Gary Keller built Command, which is our platform that automates all of this, until he built that out for us, we didn't adopt this model very well. We weren't disciplined enough as agents individually to do a 33 touch very well or 36 touch. Now that we have Command and we can set up our computer, set it and forget it, turn on our database, we are so much better. And we're having way higher returns because much of this is automated. And so I know this is a lot to say and ask, but if I was to show you how I could take your business from 10 closings to even 30, would you be willing to take a serious look at Keller Williams?
Definitely. It's my mind is blown away right now.
Now, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Because I know this is a lot. This is a lot. So I'm going to send you a few articles to read. So I want you to understand the model really well. The other is, I would like in the next day or two, when we can find time together, for you to jump on to get Command and do a demo with me. And this is the program that we use to actualize or to realize this model, to automate our business, to automate those relationships so we get a much higher return than what you currently are. In addition, you can also buy leads for as little as $2.47. So they're killer leads for the cost that you can. Another way to get more business. But I'm just going to say for you that we start with your database first, because you have plenty of business right there that you're not benefiting from. But yet this is another tool that is involved in this. The big part is the automation for you because you already have a very robust database. And truth is, it's just making this program makes us super productive. So I'll show you how you can really use it to run your whole life. Bottom line is in the last year, we've had 146,000 of our agents utilize the program, which cost them nothing. Can you believe it?
Yeah, it's great. I'm paying a lot of money right now for my tech resources, and this looks good.
Well, and most importantly, we've delivered over 4 million leads, which has resulted in over 2 million closings. Pretty awesome, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So I know it's a lot to throw at you in one conversation, and yet here's the truth. Your broker loves you too. And you've got a great office. The difference of Keller Williams, besides being a great office, and we love our agents and they love us too, is we teach you how to put the business in your business. And this is just one of the models. So if I was able to help you go from 10 closings to 20, 30 to 60, whatever you want, would you make a move?
I don't see why not.
Because the truth is, your broker and you will maintain your friendship if you're truly friends. And yet this is about you and your family.
Yeah, definitely. I can see a possible change.
Well, and here's the thing. I don't care when you make a change. This is about you. But I would appreciate if you would give me time in the next 2 days for us to seriously sit down together and show you how this program works and answer some of the questions you're going to have. Is that okay?
It is, but I just want you to know that I'm not ready to make the move yet. I just want to have all the information before I do anything.
And that's smart, because we'll want to give you an extreme makeover if you make the move. We're going to want to put all your data in a clean format and get you all ready to go. You may want to brand yourself. These are all things we can discuss. So don't worry about being pressured to make the move. I want to show you what you're missing. Okay?
Sounds great.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
End of role play. What did you think about that? Give us some honest feedback. How did it feel?
I felt like you cared about my business, and I felt like I'm leaving money on the table. I felt like I was missing out all these years.
So it's a different way of recruiting than some of you have used. Some of you might be using this method. So let's break it down a little, because I just gave you like a high level recruiting conversation. I want to make sure everyone understood this kind of the sections of that conversation. And I want to hear what your limiting beliefs or challenges might be. So who wants to share with me? Tell me how you're thinking. What do you guys think about this? Okay, is it Divan? Did I say your name properly?
Yeah, Divan, yes. So
Divan.
yeah, Divan's fine. So one of the things that I know that's going to come up, especially with the older agents, they don't necessarily keep track of their contacts the way that they should be, specifically a smart database. So what do you do with that then? How do you approach it then? Obviously, then you might have to use a different tactic, but I mean, this is, especially for big agents, this is a very nice tool.
Right. So this is very frequently the case where they only have a very small portion of their database where they have actual phone number and email and address. And yet agents don't need that big of a database with all of its data to be getting a 6% return. So often the first thing we do is we pull all the data, and they'll have like 2,000, or like in Elenia's example, it was 3,500 or whatever. It was way bigger than they need, because in order for an agent to reach their goals, they typically need about 500. So first things first, we're going to pull all the data and just see what they have. And often they have enough or close to enough that if they spend a little time cleaning up their database, reaching out to people, texting, Facebook messaging, they can get that data to be complete enough. And then they'll realize they have a lot of extra parts of data, so, you know, a random phone number or just an email with a first name and they're not sure who. So what we recommend is we first evaluate, what do you have? Because you may have enough. And if you don't have enough, it's about the gold, not all having a perfectly clean 1,000, person. So the other thing we do is show them what they have and then put their not clean data aside so they don't get overwhelmed, and just say, this is what you have to work with. Now, That would be step one, is just kind of figuring out what they have and helping them so they're not overwhelmed with that. Step two would be something fun, like having them have like a contest so that they capture the rest of the information, or having them Facebook message, WhatsApp chat, whatever, saying, hey, I wanted to send you an invitation and realized I lost your mailing address, whatever. And that's something that they can automate or have someone help them do. But that's a great, great question. And it's an easy way to approach us without it being overwhelming.
And you said you pull the data. So what's the sources that you actually pull? So you said the emails and obviously contact numbers, but how do they send you the data?
So typically an agent has lots of data in their phone, social media, email systems that they've used. And so each one of them have their own export. So we export from any source, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, whatever you can pull data from. And I will have a list for you guys on what that typically looks like in the US, but you may have all different sources in each one of your countries. But we can show them how to pull data from anywhere and how to pull that. We have screenshot instructions so that the agent's pulling their own data, and all we ask them to do is dump it in a Google Drive so that it's safe. And we typically have them do that before they make the move, before they join KW. Okay, so back to my role play with Eliana. To get her, what I do is have her demo command with me next. And then what I would do when I'm with her, I'd show her how to pull her data from different data points and say, now you have a secure data. Let's put that in Google Drive, or let's put that in whatever for safekeeping. And that way, if ever your broker knows you leave and they shut you off from whatever program they're working from, you don't lose everything. And so that's, again, one step closer to getting them to move to me by just pulling that. Now, by pulling that, I can really actually look at her data and be like, wow, you have, 1,000 solid contacts, or 585 with full contact, whatever that is. And then we can go from there. Great question, though. And I love that you're thinking this way, but can you imagine if you hire, every time you hire someone that is experienced, if you gave them an extreme makeover like this with onboarding, just think how powerful that would be, right? And it's not that much work. It really isn't. No, great question. Thank you for that. Any other questions along that you want to ask? Okay, cool. I think I had one more hand up. Anyone else? So what else could you run into? What would stop you from doing this, using this strategy? Let's talk about that. Anyone have any, besides just practice, getting comfortable with it? Yes, Eliana.
Yeah, what if you get a pushback on not tech savvy, or not an adopter of technology, or maybe a person that was used to doing business pen on paper?
Well, here's the thing is, what's beautiful about Command, and I think the reason why we're able now to, the 201 Club, we've talked about that graphic that you guys can show. And it's like the first proof, the first evidential proof that we can show from Command users. So it's kind of neat to say, here's this concept we've been talking about for years, that we've been teaching, that we've been coaching and training to, and now here's the proof. I think when you can show it to someone in real time and say, this is what it looks like, once we get it set up, this is what you'll do every day. You'll go in and look at your tasks and see what you need to do. You can see I'm a little behind on a few of my tasks, but when you can show it to them, it's not overwhelming. And what's beautiful about it is when you bring your contacts in here, if you put them on a neighborhood nurture or something automated, it's set it and forget it. And Only when you need to make a phone call or interact directly are you tasked. So the truth is, we're just so much better with this model when it's 80–90% automated than to what we were trying to do entrepreneurially on our own in the past. You know, we were winging it. We were kind of doing it. We were all doing a version of it. Well, this just makes us better because the automation. I might not be 100%, but going from what I was to this, night and day. So let's just say in this role play that we did, you had a 1% return on your database. By simply collecting your database and putting it in here and automating, we're definitely going to get you to 2 or 3 or 4 quickly. It's going to improve because it's just naturally going to be better. Will it get to 6? Probably not without a little effort. But if I can automatically overnight increase your business by 50%, you're going to be like a walk-in billboard, right? You're never going to leave us. And that's the difference of you guys just living off of the economic model or the economic model plus lead gen. Because if at her current brokerage, she could make a little more if she moved to KW, probably not enough pain for her to make the change. But if I could show her how she could do a lot more transactions by just plugging in her database to our models and our technology, and that's going to make her difference of income even more, then she's going to make a move. So that's the technical recruiting that I wanted to share with you guys today. When we say the market ahead is skill-based and going to require you to be more skill-based recruiting, this is what I'm talking about. If you guys all just learned how to master this conversation and play around with it. Now, again, there's 4 sections to this, and we only did page 2 or section 2. That was all the conversation we played around with. If you could add that, incorporate that into every recruiting conversation you have moving forward, and it could be just as simple of, I'd like to share with you how if you and I were working together, I would coach you to get a 6% return out of your database. Can I show you this? I know you're happy where you're at. I know you don't want to make a change, but can I show you this model? You can implement this model anywhere, but you're not very likely to. Right? Just like without command, we're very entrepreneurial, but we're not as disciplined, right? So by plugging in to command and using this model, we're going to get a much better return. Does that make sense? Cool. Awesome. Anyone else have any questions around this? Because what I'd love to do is send you to your Zoom rooms to play around with this for a little bit, like for 15 minutes, and just kind of play around with this. So if you don't have a room to go find someone in a room. And I would like you to download this. So if you haven't, we'll share the link again, download it. But really what I want you to do is just go to page, it's do the math, section 2. And it's really you just role playing or role modeling that conversation that we just did. I'd love for you guys to try that. And then I want to bring you guys back in 15 minutes. So we have a few minutes to kind of hear what you ran into. What challenges did you run into? What stopped you? What wins did you have? So I'd like to send you to the Zoom room. So download this before you do. I'll also screen share this when you're in your Zoom room up on the wall, and role play this conversation and use whatever scenario you would like. Okay. So if anyone has any questions, please ask them now. Otherwise, we'll send you to the Zoom room. So give a second. Any questions? Okay, so we're going to send you for 15 minutes to go play around with this. And again, join a room with people in it if you don't see anyone for your country.
All right, again, you have the opportunity to choose your Zoom rooms. So I'm going to open them up and everyone can choose.
Leslie, I have one question, please.
Yes.
Can you put me in the room with Alexandra? She is the new team leader, our newest market center, please.
Oh yeah, I'm not pre-assigning, so you get to choose whatever Zoom room you want to go into.
Okay,
so, yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yes.
Awesome. Go have some fun with this. Play around. I want to hear what you guys ran into. So just try this. Try it out.
All right, 15 minutes, right? Perfect. All right.